Paul Ryan is set to unveil a major deficit-cutting budget proposal today. Congressman Ryan is with us on Capitol Hill. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Charlie. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Again, tell us what the core idea of this budget proposal is.
Well, the core idea is we want to get ahead of a debt crisis. We want to take all the empty promises that our government is making and make sure that they're not broken promises. We want to save Medicare from bankruptcy. We want to put our debt on a pathway to balance and pay off the debt. And we want to get our economy growing again. Fundamental tax reform. Go ahead.
No, are you surprised there has not been much conversation about deficit reduction in the Republican primary debate, and that is it your intent to reignite this debate about the deficit?
I think there's been plenty of talk about deficit reduction. I think they've talked quite a bit about the features of deficit reduction, how to deal with these entitlement programs that are going bankrupt, how to deal with overspending by government. So I think there's been a lot of talk about it, but I think we also need to see the forest through the trees, which is, I think, the point you're getting at, Charlie, which is we have a debt crisis coming. We're borrowing 40 cents out of every dollar we spend. We can't keep spending money we don't have, and we owe the country a choice of two futures, and that's what we're showing them today, which is how we would get the finances of the country straight, how we would get the economy growing, how we would get this debt under control and paid off ultimately, and how we'll take on these drivers of our debt, which, yes, those things can become political issues, but we think we owe it to the country to show them how to fix these problems.
Allow me to go to Medicare. It is still a controversial proposal, even though you have changed it a little bit. Tell me what you think the country has to do with respect to Medicare and how you have changed it from your previous proposal.
Well, I think they have to make a choice, which is, do they want to stick with the president's health care law, which raids $500 million from Medicare to spend on his new health care law, and then puts a new board of 15 bureaucrats in charge of price controlling and rationing Medicare for current seniors? We get rid of that, and we say, don't change Medicare for people in and near retirement. They already retired, they're about to retire, so don't change their benefits. But in order to cash flow their benefits, in order to make good on those promises, you must change it for the next generation. And the system we propose is not different than the system we as members of Congress have. It's very similar to the system we have where you have guaranteed choices. What's different this year, Charlie, is like our new bipartisan plan, which is if you want to have the traditional Medicare choice along with private plans, just like Medicare Advantage, you can choose that. More support for the poor and the sick, less for the wealthy is how we propose to do this. As
you know, Democrats have tried to and have attempted to portray you as someone who wants to destroy Medicare, and they have a poster in which you are, in a sense, the poster boy of that. And their argument is that you will, in fact, by a voluntary system, lead to the destruction of something that seniors have come to depend on.
The president's health care law does that already. The president's health care law puts 15 bureaucrats in charge of rationing the program, and he raids over $500 billion from the program to spend on other government programs. We preserve the benefit for people in and near retirement. The president doesn't do that. But in order to do that, you have to reform the program to save the program and prevent it from going bankrupt. That's what we do. Scare tactics, I don't think, are going to work. The country wants to be spoken to like adults, not pandered to like children. We owe the country a choice. We owe them leadership, we think. And if you want to save Medicare and prevent it from going bankrupt, you must reform the program, and that's what we're doing.
I have to get this in. There is also tax reform in this budget proposal. You want to reduce the rates to two rates, 10% and 25%.
That's right. We think we need to have pro-growth economic policy. One of the key ingredients to economic growth is a tax system that's that's competitive, that's fair. Take away the tax shelters that high-income earners use in order to lower everybody's tax rates.
But
so you
no
can do this without hurting the deficit.
But no alternative minimum anymore.
Yeah, nobody wants to have the alternative minimum. I don't know a Democrat that wants the alternative minimum tax to continue. So we say get rid of the alternative minimum tax, because the alternative minimum tax was because people were using tax shelters, therefore they had the alternative minimum tax. We're saying get rid of all the tax shelters so you can lower everybody's tax rates. It's more competitive, it's fair, and it helps us grow our economy and make sure that we don't tax our successful small businesses at much higher rates than large corporations, and that's what this tax reform does.
Congressman Ryan, thank you again.